I've lost so many friends and family members from speaking out against racism, but it has all been worth it. I've had people I used to spend my Christmases with tell me that I'm a disappointment and the embodiment of everything that's wrong with America. I've had family members post my videos and make fun of me online. My kindergarten teacher told me that I'm a disappointment and then immediately blocked me. She's a Latina woman who has consistently been a Trump supporter. I've had people who I thought were my friends who were also anti-racist and liberal who immediately unfollowed me because I became too controversial. And yet I would do it all again. And the reason why is because I see every single human being is equally important as the next. The life of a homeless person, of a drug addict, of a person of color is equally important to a white person's life. But they see me as a direct attack on their way of life and as trying to take away some of their power in society. They tell me I'm on the wrong side and that all I'm doing is causing trouble. They tell me that they hope something bad happens to me so that I can't even continue my advocacy. But I would encourage white people to do the same because it is hard, but we need people to try to deconstruct the society that we are currently living in. I'm on the side of love and human connection, not power and status.
I've gotten thousands of hate comments on videos that I'm talking about white privilege or systematic racism. I've been called everything. Ugly, stupid, someone that shouldn't be alive, and a lot of things that are even worse that I won't repeat. And honestly, these hate comments don't really bother me, but there was one that I wanted to address. I've had several people comment that I shouldn't be talking about these topics because I'm not a minority. And I'm the first one to admit that I'm not the best person to talk about it. I'm not the most educated or knowledgeable. I haven't experienced systematic racism, and I know that my perspective is limited. There are plenty of people that are better than me to talk about this. But if I were in someone else's shoes, I would rather have someone speak up. Even if they're not the best at it, or they don't do as good of a job at advocating as I would rather have them say something than nothing at all. Hate still exists, and the way that my comments have flooded with negativity just proves that we need more voices, not fewer. I'm not here to speak over anyone, but I do care, and I'm here to listen and learn, and I will always use my voice to call people out.
No! Can you shut your mouth for a minute? No! Because I actually work in the ghetto. I see the people.
Do you know why they're in that position?
I see these people.
Do you understand the systematic and historical reason for why they're in that position?
They don't care. All they want to do is be ghetto.
No.
Yes, there's some that don't, and there's good people.
No.
Most of them just want to suck off the system or do something bad like drugs or gangs. And that's all they do.
They have been oppressed. They have not been given the same opportunities you have had.
They do, and there's plenty of black people.
No, they don't, Dad. And you not recognizing that as an issue is the reason why it's still continuing today.
I see them all over. There's all kinds of successful people that are of color. It doesn't matter what color, brown, white.
But it's a lot harder for them to get to that position.
It doesn't matter. When they do, they're fine. But there's always filthy animals. And
her dad is the living example of why racism hasn't died. He's trying to pass his racism down to her. She refused to accept it. She fought back with intellect and spirit, and God bless her for that. He's just passing down ignorance the same way it was probably passed down to him. And instead of listening to her, he doubled down and proved her point by reacting with emotion and not logic, and even went so far to call black people animals. So, like I said, it looks like her head is in the right place, and she's living proof that we can break generational hate with empathy and education.
I was ignorant of just how bad white supremacy was until I started speaking against it. I thought, of course, racism is real, but I'm sure there's plenty of white people out there who want to fix it. There's plenty of people who want to fix the system so that it's better for everybody. The moment I started calling it out for exactly what it is, that's when things started to shift, and that's when I realized the sheer amount of hatred. And I didn't expect for people that I knew to personally attack me, tell me that I was being too divisive, to lose so many people that I thought were friends of mine. I didn't expect the constant threats of violence or being targeted by neo-Nazis online so badly that they leaked my phone number. I didn't expect to be turned into an internet meme and called Crash Out Kylie and subsequently targeted by white supremacists. I didn't think the journey would be easy, but I do sincerely think that I was blind to just how deeply white supremacy runs. And that is certainly a bias that I have as a white person because I never experienced this hatred until I started speaking against it. The truth is that speaking out against racism as a white person isn't divisive, it's necessary. And despite being doxxed and ostracized from my community, I strongly recommend that other white people do the same. Because why would you want to be friends with somebody who's hell-bent on silencing your voice and the voice of people of color?
In case you're new here, I want to make it very clear where my husband and I stand in all of the chaos that is happening here in the United States. And I'm going to say it one more time. We stand with marginalized people. We stand with Black people, Hispanic people, trans people, gay people, Muslim people, anyone who is being villainized in this very moment that you can think of, we stand for them. And I am tired as a white woman not seeing enough white people calling out the bullshit that is happening right now. If you've got Black friends, Hispanic friends, trans friends, gay friends, and you are being quiet and you are not calling out other white people when they start saying racist, transphobic, Islamophobic, any kind of horrible remarks, you are equally a part of the problem. We do not need to let other people be comfortable in their hatred anymore. It is our job as any progressive white person to stand up and call out bullshit when we hear it, and to make these people feel uncomfortable enough to go back into hiding or to second guess the things that they are supporting, doing, and saying. And no, we do not have to be close to these people, stay friends with these people, have relationships with these people if they are continuously saying things that hurt marginalized people. I have seen too many white people, the minute their Black friends aren't around, feel comfortable enough to sit there and listen to some bullshit that their friend might have to say that is racist and not stand up for their Black friend. And then you wonder why Black people don't want to fuck with us anymore. I am no longer going to not say anything to these people and be quiet. There is nothing okay with what is happening right now. And so if you are new to my page and you have started following us, I just want to let you know right here, right now, one more time, because I said it a few weeks ago, that this is where I stand. And if you come on this page and you spew any hate or any bull crap and you start talking about these other people, these marginalized groups, and you have no facts that even back up what you are saying other than Fox News, I will block you. That is it.
White people need to talk more about race with their family and community. I know that this sounds counterintuitive because your feed is probably filled with white people talking about race when it is obviously an issue that affects people of color, but the problem is that it's perpetuated in white families in ways that they do not realize. I am trying to call out the racism that is either explicit or implicit among white circles. People act racist a lot of the time behind closed doors, which is something that I, as a white person, see a lot. It doesn't matter if I'm in Chicago, if I'm in rural California, if I'm in rural places, generally speaking, white people are racist in the US. And sometimes in ways that they don't even realize. So my goal with my content is to see this, to report on it, to encourage white people to evaluate critically what that means. Although it might seem like I'm trying to take away voices of people of color, I'm not trying to speak on the effects of racism or anything like that. I'm trying to talk about how it's systemic and encourage other white people to evaluate their biases, because I understand this because of the environment I was raised in, which is very conservative.
White people, if we want racism to truly go away in America, our voices have to be some of the loudest in condemning it. If you've been paying attention at all, you know and you understand the aggressive attempt that is happening right now to whitewash our world. We've had many people with black or brown skin color removed from prominent positions within the government. We've even had their achievements removed from government websites. There's a blatant attempt to rewrite history when it comes to slavery, with some going as far as to say it wasn't that bad, or we should teach it more gently. And that's just the very tip of the iceberg. White people, do you want to live in a world that is completely void of color? Do any of you guys not hang out with people of different skin color than you? Where are your voices on their behalf? Why are things like this happening over and over again to them, and we are not screaming in enragement? And most importantly, why are we expecting them to do anything whatsoever to combat this? They didn't create this problem. People who look like us did, and people who look like us continue to perpetuate the problem. So then it's people who look like us whose voices have to be the loudest in condemning their behaviors. No, it's not okay to come after our friends who aren't white. No, it's not okay to minimize them. No, it's not okay to hurt or harm them. We are the ones with the privilege, and nothing is going to change unless we use our voices on their behalf. Nobody is better than anybody else because of the color of their skin. But our government is trying to send the opposite message. The only way to stop that is for our voices to be louder, for us to shame people for having such backwards and racist thinking, to call people out when they say the quiet parts out loud. If you're white, I don't know what you're waiting for. The time is now. I've never organized any kind of march or protest before, but it would be my absolute dream, while our black and brown brothers and sisters are at home resting, for all of us white people to be out marching on their behalf, standing in solidarity and support of their communities. I will say this on record, if anybody is in the midst of organizing something like this, please contact me. I will lend my voice however I possibly can to your cause.
Brothers and sisters, today I want us to have an honest and necessary conversation. It's about something we don't always acknowledge, the backlash that many white people face when they choose to speak out against racism. Too often, the fight against racial injustice is seen as a struggle for only minorities. But history shows us that real change comes when people from all backgrounds, especially those with privilege, stand up and say, this is wrong. And yet, when white allies speak out, many of them face criticism, alienation, or even hostility from their own communities. Let's be clear, racism thrives when silence exists, but breaking that silence is not always easy. Many white people who stand up against racism are accused of betraying their race, of being too political, or of creating division. They are told, it's not your fight, or why are you making things uncomfortable? This backlash can come from family, friends, workplaces, or entire communities. Sociologists call this in-group policing, when members of a dominant group punish one of their own, challenging the status quo. Take for example the civil rights movement of the 1960s. White allies like Viola Lucy, a mother from Detroit, gave her life marching in Selma alongside black activists. She was assassinated by the Klan. Others, like Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, faced ridicule and threats for marching with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Even in more recent times, white athletes, teachers, and black figures have lost jobs or been ostracized for saying Black Lives Matter or calling out racial injustice in school or workplaces. Brothers and sisters, this backlash is not just about silencing individuals. It's about maintaining systems of inequality. When white people are discouraged from speaking out, it reinforces the idea that racism is only the burden of those who suffer from it. But the truth is, racism is a social problem, and social problems demand collective responsibility. The courageous actions of white allies remind us that dismantling racism is not an act of charity. It is an act of justice. When they use their voices, their privilege, and their platforms, they chip away at the structures that harm us all. And yes, they may face discomfort, they may lose relationship, but silence allows injustice to grow. Speaking out gives it no shelter. We must give credit where it's due. White allies throughout history have chosen to risk their comfort for truth. People like John Brown, who stood against slavery even when it cost him his life, or modern figures like Jane Elliott, who spent her career as a teacher exposing the realities of prejudice with her famous Blue Eyes, Brown Eyes experiment, despite receiving decades of threats and backlash. And then, there are the countless unnamed white teachers, neighbors, co-workers, and parents who correct racist jokes, challenge unfair treatment, and support policies for equality. These acts may not make headlines, but they matter. They create ripples of change, in families, schools, and communities. So what can be done? To my white brothers and sisters, understand that the backlash you may face is not a sign you're doing something wrong. It's often proof that you are doing something right. Change is uncomfortable, and when you disrupt systems that benefit some at the expense of others, resistance will follow. Here are a few things to remember. Stay grounded in facts. Racism is not an opinion, it is a documented reality. Lean on community, find other allies and organizations that share your values. You don't have to fight alone. Third, listen to those most affected. Stand beside people of color, amplify their voices, and respect their leadership. Fourth, accept the cost. Justice has always come with sacrifice, but the reward is a more human, more equal world. Brothers and sisters, the struggle against racism belongs to all of us. And while the backlash against white allies is real, so is the progress their voices bring. To those who have spoken out, we honor you. To those who remain silent, we invite you to join together across color lines, across communities. We can weaken the grip of racism and strengthen the bonds of humanity. Remember, silence helps the oppressor, speech helps the oppressed, and history will remember who had the courage to speak. Thanks for watching, and kindly subscribe, like, comment, and share this video for others to learn as well. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.